Alright, let's go, guys. We are here with one of the banging series from HomeStory Cup. Came in highly recommended as one of these continuations of a rivalry between two of the top European players. We've got, of course, Clem, the Terran vs. Zerg Beast, a player who does struggle against Korean Protoss players, but you know what? Sometimes these European Protoss players also get in his way. Up in the top right, we have the king of Phoenix Charge. It is none other than Showtime. His Phoenix Charge Archon play is next level. I don't know if he's been doing it as recently, but you go back 6 months to a year and it was like, there was tournaments, it was like every game. Phoenix Charge, Phoenix Charge, Phoenix Charge. Very good at controlling the game, scouting things out and defending. His nickname is Demour for a reason. He is a very defensive player. Showtime likes clean, efficient, technical defense. Clem, on the other hand, is a trademark aggressive player. He can macro with the best of them, but of course is most in his element when he's running in with units from all sides. Now, Showtime is a player who uses the core, so he uses many different control groups, way more than most pro gamers. Uses that right-hand side of the keyboard, even though he is right-handed and has it on a bit of a slant. Real interesting setup. One of the few top pros that does use that did modify his setup and swap to that in around 2016, 2015, somewhere around there. Clem, on the other hand, I think just using more of a classic setup, but Clem is one of these kids who's been playing since he was like 5 years old. And as a result, his ability to seamlessly swap between techniques and styles and also kind of what he's using his control groups on, how he's playing, what his focus is, he's like, you know, it's so flexible. His brain is so plastic. Showtime is not old by any means. I think he's about, what, 27 now, I would guess? Because I remember he was only about 19 back when I was competing against him. So he's it's a long time ago since I was competing. He's probably about 26, 27 these days. But, you know, compared to Clem, who's obviously only, I think, 19 now. I think Clem's turned 19. Definitely a bit of an age gap. And there is something as well where I think, you know, Showtime would have been playing from a young age. But there is something different when you're raised, living and breathing it from such a young point in your life. Now, Clem's gone Reaper. The Marine, the factory on the way. Low ground command center does get up completely uncontested. Notice that Showtime didn't even try to pressure. He's really just trying to kind of push him back. He would have liked to deny scouting, but the Reaper did see that Twilight Council. So overall, I think Clem's pretty happy with his build order. He's gotten away with no bunker or anything like that. I always feel like when the Terran's happy to cut this corner, it's going to do well for them. And if there's anything that I'd point out as a weakness of both of these guys, but Showtime especially, it's being predictably defensive, right? Predictably almost over defensive at times. I mean, basically, yeah, I think, you know, going Reaper into Marine like that, into Factory, and then just having nothing to defend if an Adept came over, it's like, hey, dude, if your command center gets delayed, big cost. But guess what? Showtime likes to sit back and defend. He's going to do a technical 2-gate robo into that third base. And, of course, for those who don't know, this is, I believe this was, what, round of 8. I think there was an upper and a lower bracket, so it's roughly quarterfinals time. Obviously, you're into the best of 5 stage of the tournament. Pretty big match. Now, quick third, I think he'll probably be playing into Colossus off the back of this, but we'll see. Like I said, he's a big Phoenix Charge fan. Now, you're not going to play Phoenix if you've opened Blink, but there is always something to keep in mind. And, oh, the Reaper does get the kill, but he's going to go down for that as long as the Stalker gets one more hit. The Adept will be able to finish that off. Yeah, Reaper tries to do a fancy bounce. If you time that out just perfectly, you can bounce the Adept as it finishes the shade and it won't get its shot off. The trick is to pause the Reaper for a moment so that the shade stops right on your Reaper and both the Reaper gets bounced in one direction, the Adept in the other direction, and then the Reaper takes off. Printf is a master of this, and if you guys want to practice that, go into the Minute Micro map on Arcade. It's got all these little micro challenges. You could try it over and over again. I cannot do it consistently. Even on the Australian server, when I don't have ping, I cannot do it consistently. It's so hard. But like Clem and Maru, a few of these guys, like they will try for it, and you'll see them. Occasionally, they pull it off and they escape what for anybody else would have been sure death. You have to practice it hundreds of times to really get the timing down, though. And of course, it is server reliant. You're never going to pull it off when you're playing cross-server. But these guys, both in Europe, will be playing on the European server. Not only that, of course, they are both playing in the same arena at the HomeStory Cup. Now, Raven's about to pop out. There's a tank. It looks like it's just going to be a single tank into this. So the barracks are both going to take the tech labs off the factory and starport. Few Stalkers are going to look around to poke, but it is just Stalkers into charge for now. So it's going to be a very low tech style for Showtime. This gives him a big swarming army in the early mid-game. It's going to be very hard to push into this with just like Ravens and that sort of stuff. Only 3 Stalkers here. That's a shame. 4 Stalkers is the magic number to one-shot the SCVs. You can see he had to take 4 volleys just to kill 2 SCVs there. I mean, obviously, it's still a good pickoff. Gets a Marine as well. Gets almost another Marine. And only for a little bit of damage. So very small technical harassment. This is Showtime's MO, guys. His modus operandi is minimal risk, maximum value. He always wants to get damage for free. Whereas if you look at an aggressive Protoss, you know, hero, the the antithesis of Showtime style, he's going to shove units in, not care about losing them. He's just going to try and make the game messy and do anything he can to get the damage done, and sometimes throw units away. Showtime is careful, is methodical, right? And it's beautiful to watch. When the game goes Showtime's way, it doesn't look very fair. The problem is, though, sometimes he does let his opponents get a little bit more room to breathe than you would really want. Doesn't quite capitalize as quickly as he should. Now, he's going into Zealots. He's also building Immortals. The problem with his style, as this bio army builds medevac stim shields, Clem's going to get a really big critical mass that will smash Zealots. And you can see he's going 3rd command center, 4th and 5th barracks. He's very methodically macroing. Clem's not eager to push because he knows the Stalker Zealot's very powerful against this. He's got the Raven on the right side. He's got the Widowmine drop on the left, but he's being very patient because he knows that Showtime respects it and will leave those units there. So you've got 2 guys, both in a very respectful holding pattern. Does take 9 Stalker shots to kill a medevac, guys. So 4 Stalkers don't quite have the critical mass. Remember, it's 5 Stalkers can 2-shot a medevac. That's the number you have to watch out for. That's why Clem wasn't too afraid there. But the Zealot drop comes in. Uh-oh. Here we go. Zealot drop. Okay, a couple Marines and Marauders. And notice that positioning. Even if the Zealots at a fight, they're only going to be able to hit 2 Zealots at a time against the Marauders in that choke point. That's a very high-level adaptation that the top pros do. He's also blocking with hold position on the SCVs. Pulls back at the last second. Very good micro. Showtime dodges one of the Widowmines. Force fields in the middle come in. Interference Matrix and an Auto Turret go down, but the Stalkers do snipe down the Raven. Great force fields. And Showtime's Warp Prism starting to be annoying. Clem does pull back through that choke point, but now because the Zealots got through, he doesn't have enough firepower. This is actually a big problem for Clem. Showtime has got amazing value out of this. I do worry that Showtime doesn't have a 4th Nexus. He doesn't have splash damage. That's what I'd normally be worried about if he wasn't ripping Clem's arms out of their sockets with this maneuver. Oh my god, he's destroying. Now, I don't know what happened to that Widowmine drop. Did it go down? I think it must have, because I don't see any Widowmines left. Oh, Clem gets the Prism, though. Clem gets the Prism. Doesn't matter, though. The Stalkers are here. The army's going to have to stim all the way to the low ground. They're already damaged. They're going to have to drop another stim to run down there to save that base. Oh, the sentries. Can they get the 3rd force field? Force fields are sick, but Clem might just jump on top of the army. Can he unload on top of the army? Oh, the Stalkers want that command center so hard. Showtime gets the command center. Another wave of force fields, but I think he's so outnumbered here. And yeah, he's going to run. Great recall. Okay, Clem gets 1 Immortal, 1 Zealot, but the sentries get out of there. The Stalkers and the Zealots run home. Showtime gets away with murder and just says, leave, get out of here. Now, problem for Showtime, guys, he still does not have long-range splash damage. He's only got Archons, and he's out of force fields. He's also lost one of his Immortals, which is one of his best ranged firepower units. So the thing is, this bio army can find insane value. You might think, oh, how's he going to possibly kill him? Well, you're going to need to use the batteries as Showtime. Showtime needs to micro very slowly, carefully, methodically. Clem is rebuilding his 3rd command center. 1-1 upgrades done for the Protoss. Only +1 attack done for the Terran. Clem's medevacs are out of juice. Every stim is actually really crucial right now. Showtime just needs to bait stims out, and he will win this fight in the long run because there's just no healing here. And I think Clem's realizing it. He needs to try to bait these units out. The sentries take a big bit of damage there. 1 sentry goes down. The other sentry is looking mighty exposed. But man, remember, these stims are running out. He's going to have to stim again. The medevacs are out of juice. But oh, big Widow Mines on the Archons. That means there's an Immortal left out on the right side. Showtime did not have that on the control group. It does get back to safety, but he's out of juice on these batteries, which means the Archons did not heal up fully. I wouldn't mind Showtime going back with those Archons and units and actually just healing up on the battery overcharge, but you can see here that Clem's army is very wounded. Clem needs to get out of there right now. He cannot stay here. Zealots on the counterattack did kill the SCV on the command center. And man, it feels like somehow Clem's supply is still good. And he is adding ghosts behind this, but oh, we could get hunted down. A medevac goes down and a couple of marauders. Well worth Showtime blinking after this right now. He should chase this down as hard as he can. Clem actually rallying in very sloppily as well. This is a big mistake for him. Oh no, Clem with a huge mistake. A bunch of marines and marauders go out there. He realizes his folly, and I mean, Clem is in chaos right now. He is adding ghosts though, and that gives me hope for his ability to win this game. Because if he can get out ghosts, they're going to knock the barriers and the shields off the immortals. The Archons, you get 3 EMPs on them and they literally just die. They get one shot by anything then. Zealot drop is in position though, and Storm is coming in. Showtime still not securing a 4th base in this scenario. He doesn't want to overextend himself, because then Clem's mobile bioforce is going to be very powerful, dude. It's going to be really good at picking him apart. The Zealot drop comes in for the 13th time. He's killed 18 SCVs this game. So pretty damn good damage. Only a single probe has died. Showtime does take a 4th base on the right. Prism is going to pull back to get some High Templar in there. Looks like there was a quick pause for some lag issue, and they fixed it. Second Robo and a Robo Bay go down. Showtime's going to swap into Disruptors and Colossus. Now, for those who don't know, there's a special rule. There's a rule that is whispered amongst the upper echelons of the Protoss players on the EU ladder. And they say, What do you do to counter Clem? And they say, well, Disruptors are actually worthless versus him. Now, versus most Terran players, Disruptors are an instant win because you get like 5 of them and bam, you drop some balls and they lose their whole army and they clump it up. But there is a rule that Disruptors are worthless versus Clem until you get your 9th Disruptor. Up until then, your first 8, he will dodge every single shot with ease and then run in and kill all your Disruptors before they can recharge. But if you can get 9 or more, that's when the Disruptors are actually a useful unit versus this Freaks Micro. Now, Showtime is way ahead on the economy. He's also up 2-1 upgrades. He's got a bigger Mortal Archon army. The Stalkers come forward. If he could land force fields, that'd be Big Storm on the ramp! Big Storm's coming down. The Medivacs, the Widow Mines all getting absolutely butchered up there. And that command center looks like it might go down as well. Great mass repair for Clem. If Clem can somehow defend this army, that would just be freakish. The Stalkers should have shot that command center though, I think. Dude, it's no, that's not possible. There's no way. No. Oh, the Archons land some big hits there. Okay, no. Showtime does. Up for a second, I thought Clem was going to do the impossible there with the command center and the SCVs tanking and distracting so much of that army for so long. But even though he ends up defending, he's lost almost everything. More Zealots are coming in now. And yeah, he's going to get overrun there. Showtime with a clinical game 1. But you can see that the moment he commits to the fight there, even massively ahead as he was, it's hard to finish Clem off because he is so good in those defensive engagements. Nonetheless, game 1 goes to Big Esports Showtime. All right. Going into game number 2. That was a pretty good game 1. I mean, where did that one turn? I guess it was the Stalkers did nice harassment. Clem couldn't really find a way in with the Widowmine drop or the Ravens. I guess I probably should have rewound to check what happened to that Widowmine drop when you know, all the stuff started to hit the fan all at once. But Showtime didn't really lose any probes in that whole early game. And that's what you want as a Protoss player who's now going gas first. Oh, okay. So gas first means he's going to not scout this game. And I talked about these players both having a problem with being predictable, and Showtime more so. Guess what? Showtime's playing this very intelligently. Clem very rarely will actually go for a proxy barracks in this matchup. Not as often as a lot of the other Terrans are, like sometimes 2 out of 3 games, 3 out of 4 games. They'll be like, yep, going for a proxy barracks, go really aggressive. The funny thing is as well, guys, even with a proxy barracks, you can't necessarily punish a gas first too easily. Now, why do you go gas first? The reason is because with a no scout build, you have enough minerals that you're almost always going to go Nexus before Cybercore, because you can basically afford them at almost the exact same time. And the thing is, if you don't have a probe across the map, it's like, hey, your probes, you've only got 16 slots on minerals, so you might as well put workers on gas. Now, it is interesting that he puts 3 on gas and only 15 on minerals here for, it's only a moment, but you can see there the Nexus goes down, crisp timing. He has to send a second probe to get the Cybercore, and we'll be going into a super quick Stargate behind this. And this is one of my favorite openings right now. If your opponent happens to do something like this, reactor first, like Clem is, and an SCV scout, I would say you're just a little bit ahead. On the other hand, at least Clem didn't invest in a Reaper. If you do like a generic Reaper expand, I think you're even worse off as the Terran player. But in this scenario, we got that second pylon goes down here on the natural 22. Very solid build order for Showtime. And Clem is like, oh, you didn't scout at all, you greedy little bastard. It should dawn on him. Doesn't really change anything Clem does. He's just got to be aware that things like, I mean, personally, just a really quick Oracle is usually the best opening, I think, off this. But you can even rush insanely quick DTs. And that would be something, thinking about it, if I was Clem, I would never expect Showtime to go for a quick Twilight and then proxy a DT Shrine off this. So it may just have occurred to me that the genius play, I'm like, he's going to go very quick Stargate into, you know, an Oracle. That went down 2 minutes and 16 seconds. You could actually get that a few seconds faster, potentially. But, oh, he's been chronoing probes beautifully. Look at his probe count. Yeah, he's already up at 25. He does do a second chrono on a sentry, though. Oh, that's interesting. Because, what? Is he... Okay, now I'm confused. Why is he getting a sentry? Normally a sentry you use to scout if you don't have access to something like a star. Is he going to hide... Oh, he's going to hide Phoenix. Oh, he's trying to bait him into dropping. Okay, check out this mind game from Showtime. I'll talk about what Clem's doing in a moment. But the whole idea here is he's going to show a hallucinated Phoenix scout. That's going to tell Clem, oh, you're playing a sentry into delayed blink is almost always what that build is, because blink doesn't have any fast scouting. And the thing is, you never see sentry and Phoenix play. So what that means is once you see that, you go, cool, maybe he has blink, but it's going to be late. I've got plenty of time to do a Hellion run by, a Widow Mine drop, any of that stuff. And then he comes in with it, and then you've got Phoenix waiting and you destroy it. Now, there is 2 Adepts, a Sentry, and a Phoenix here. He's going to show the Phoenix, and that kind of gives it away a bit too early. Showtime also F2s his hallucination home. So I think this is a pretty good push here for Clem, simply because it gets him so much information. Warp Gate's not quite done, and the second Phoenix, where is the second Phoenix? There we go, pops out now, but his Adepts have taken a lot of damage. Uh-oh, Showtime could be in trouble here. It looks like he's gonna have to pull probes, but he gets rid of the Hellions before the probes are pulled, so even though he loses the Sentry and the Adepts, he only loses 1 probe. So not too bad. I would say this works out reasonably well for Showtime. Clem is gonna go for a Widow Mine drop. Ah, okay, so he's gonna sneak that one across the top side of the map. Viking Cyclone will come out to defend. But if the Phoenix use their lifts, they're not going to be able to pick up the Widow Mine. So the thing is, there's like a problem here. This guy will have 1 lift soon. This guy has 1 lift. But if he uses them right now on the SCVs, which is very tempting, then that Widow Mine drop could do big damage for Clem. This all comes down to Showtime's reaction speed. Let's watch this from Showtime's camera. It's entering his minimap right now. Oh, very quick response. He sees it, instantly recalls his Phoenix as well, but he's only got 2 lifts available. I don't think he can lift them all. Oh, he's only got, yeah, he uses 2 lifts, but he doesn't use them on the most effective Widow Mines. Oh, great spready though. He only loses 2 probes. Oh my God, Showtime. He is so quick. The speed with which he recalled, picked up the Widow Mine, spread his probes. Holy crap, man. That's such sexy play. He doesn't catch the medevac, so good play by Clem to get that home. But the thing is, Showtime knows it's a 3rd command center, so Showtime should be dropping like a 3rd base, maybe even thinking about probably like double Forge. I would think double Forge into Twilight, simply because you know Clem can't really push you off this army. You've got Phoenix, you'll see the push miles before it gets to your base. And you know he's going to get probably 2 Cyclones, 2 Vikings, a couple of Marines, and then he's going to have to go double Engineering Bay. And Clem, around 8, maybe 9 minutes is when Clem will become dangerous off this build, because that's when Stim and Shields are going to finish off these barracks. So, yeah, 9 minutes, probably 10 minutes, maybe even 11 minutes is going to be like a big 2-2 push potentially. But for Showtime, it's like, hey, dude, you've got all the time in the world. Chrono those probes and get that tech up. Now, he's going for a Sentry right now. Interesting that he's building a Sentry. I really thought he'd be investing in the Forges early. He gets 1 Forge. You can see he's a little broke right now, though. And let's see just how hard he goes. So it's just single Forge Twilight, not going too crazy on the economy. This is one of those scenarios where you get to kind of see how much of a technical, just really tight player Showtime is. Because you know if Estrella had the information Showtime does, he'd have a 4th Nexus up and he'd be going like triple Forge or something ridiculous that seems not quite right. But that's the difference between America and Europe, you know. Tobias, Showtime, he's technical perfection. Estrella is... You can't do that! And he finds a way to make it work. Very different flavors of Protoss, even though they are both great macro players. Phoenix floating around. That Observer there is getting great vision. So you can see the army looks kind of scary. You just got to remember Stim Shields 1-1 are still a long way away. Charge +1 Colossus, and the Gateway's starting to come on in as well. He's up on 3 Gateways, is Showtime. So Showtime could just go Charge Lot Archon timing. That's very common off a Colossus build, right? You see he's got 1 Colossus. The other timing that's very available, if he wants to play aggressive, get a 3rd Colossus, then a Warp Prism, and you time that out with you getting up to like maybe 8 or 10 gateways, and then you have Zealot Colossus go across the map. You warp in like 3 or 4 Archons with all your gas that's banked up off these 6 geysers that are now harvesting. And then you can just roll in, and if you hit pre-Ghost, it's an absolutely deadly timing because the Zealot Archon is just so powerful, and often the Terran doesn't have enough Vikings yet, right? You can see only 3 Medivacs out. Clem's still building Medivacs. He's only got the 2 Vikings, and that's not going to do a lot when there's 7 Phoenix in the sky. And with 3 Colossus, you want to have a lot of that. You can see, here we go, guys. 5 more gateways, the Templar Archives. He's chronoing his robot. The thing is, like I said, his Prism's a little delayed. So, like, he kind of needs this and a Warp Prism to come out to do that attack. And it doesn't feel like... I mean, he's got to wait another 30 seconds to the Colossus, then the Warp Prism. Clem, on the other hand, is just in defense mode because the early trades did not favor him. He didn't really find any momentum. This Observer seeing everything he's doing, it makes it feel very rough for Clem. Looking at the scenario, I feel like he's going to need to just get that 2nd starport going very quickly and start pumping Vikings. The fact that his starport is idle right now worries me for Clem. The fact that observers see everything he's doing. He's trying to build a 4th command center, 4th nexus at the same time. Showtime's army, it looks kind of small right now. It doesn't look that scary, but he's got these units all coming out. He's not building his Warp Prism yet. You can tell Showtime's a bit more focused on army production, but Showtime's like, hey, dude, you can't be here. This is super dangerous. The Phoenix come in. He does lose 1, but he picks up a few of these units, and very hard for Clem to escape from this scenario. He pulls back, though. Showtime didn't want to pull too far out of position. If he chases him to the corner of the map, he opens himself up to a drop hitting in the south. So Showtime playing a bit more carefully. He now adds that 2nd Forge. 2-1 upgrades are on the way. He's building a 4th Colossus. And there's only 4 Vikings out. My god, he could do a 4 Colossus timing attack versus a guy who's only got like 5 or 6 Vikings. Clem realizes how much trouble he's in. He drops the 2nd starport. He's got 2 upgrades started, but honestly, for Clem, he doesn't want to fight until 2-2 is finished. He's got at least 4 Ghosts in his army, lots of EMP available, and at least 10 Vikings. Until that point, Clem might want to consider splitting his army up, and if Showtime pushes across the map, he might want to do counter drops. He might want to try and like basically buy time, run circles around the map with squads of units, and do not let Showtime force a fight, because Showtime could have a deadly window with this Colossus versus Viking advantage. On the other hand, I often talk about kill timings, and we've got to remember what I talked about at the start of this series. Showtime is much more focused on defending than killing. He is more comfortable if Clem comes across the map and attacks into him, shutting that down, than he is himself moving across the map to kill his opponent. You can see that right now. He's in a good defensive stance, but he's not really using his tech aggressively. He's going to jump forward, gets a Widow Mine and 2 Cyclones. Not too bad there, but uh-oh, that Colossus takes a lot of damage. Clem, though, his Vikings are exposed. If those Archons land hits on him, it could be big. Down to just 4 Phoenix now, though. Most of those are gone. More Colossus come in from the south, though. Clem's army is getting jumped on. And remember, Blink is almost out as well. Now, the Warp Prism is out on the map right now. I don't know where it is, but my god, Clem is getting run down, dude. This is what I was talking about. Clem doesn't want to fight before he's got 10 Vikings, 2-2, and a bunch of Ghosts. Guess what? He got caught on the map. He was trying to just act a little bit scary there. But his army was not ready. Now he's only got 4 Vikings out. There's still 4 Colossus on the field. The Warp Prism's here. Zealot Archon's going to be reinforcing this scenario. Good wall off for now. Now remember, Clem is a master of making crazy comebacks in defensive stances. There's not a lot of Stalkers here to shoot this down. There's no real Phoenix left, so he needs to start warping in Stalkers, does Showtime. Also, Showtime's a bit worried because his upgrades are a bit behind. Finally, he's tying it up on 1-1. 30 seconds still, 2-2's finished. Showtime's got to make it worth it right now. He kills a lot of the SCVs there, but he's lost a Colossus for that. Maybe a Warp Prism warping in Zealots in the main could force Clem to engage. Right now, Clem's trying to use that positioning. Oh, the Vikings! They do take a bit of a volley there from the Stalkers and the Archons. The Stalkers get 2 more Vikings. Good play by Showtime. He gets a bunch of them. I think he's going to be able to overwhelm, but wait, the Colossus cop an EMP. The Vikings, more Vikings do come in. The Colossus will all fall. Is there enough bio left on the ground to defend the Stalker Arc on the Viking land? I think is going to be enough there. Stalkers warping in, but Showtime, he's got to get out of there right now. There's a Widow Mine behind his army, funnily enough. Does actually kill some of his stuff. Disruptor does come forward and says, beware the balls. Nothing scarier than a big sneaky ball just coming out of the tall grass, the untrimmed hedge. Something that does make players afraid. It looks like the missile turret or maybe this Widow Mine damaged this Warp Prism here. The Vikings are going hunting. They don't find it. The Warp Prism does escape for Showtime. Showtime, he's only got, 3 Disruptors out. He's got double Robo Disruptor production, but it's mostly a Stalker Disruptor army. And even though he did some damage there, forced the lift, killed some SCVs, I'd say this is the first time in quite a few minutes where he's actually had an economic lead. The issue that's happened in this game, and I was talking about how Clem had a worse army, a worse army, a worse army. He had a good economy for that whole time, and he was going double upgrades a bit earlier. So he now has an even economy, a bigger army, and better upgrades. Clem has made it through the scariest portion of this game. He's still got 6 Vikings, which are not the most useful right now because there's no Colossus. But yeah, it's something where it's like, hey, 3-3 started. Clem's up on the barracks count. He's got a 5th command center. He's also got +2 ship weapons, which means he's preparing for the Liberator swap. Liberator swap is super powerful. You've already got 2 starports on reactors. So anytime you get excess gas, you can pump those out super well. You can see now he's just transferred onto gases. Zealot run by will come in, but that's a planetary. Now you can go past the planetary. Zealots are pretty tanky. Oh, good save on 2 of those Zealots. One of them almost dead. You can actually ignore the planetary with Zealots. Unlike with Zerglings, where they get one shot, and you can just shift-click the SCVs. You can actually kill quite a few SCVs if you micro those Zealots. If you A-move, they won't be effective. Okay, Warp Prism does go down. +3 attacks on the way. Fusion Core going down as well, and even Cloak for Ghosts. Enhanced Shockwaves is already there, the EMP radius. This is a very interesting push for Clem. Man, this is a small army out here. If he gets jumped on, he could be in big trouble, but I think he realizes, hey, a Disruptor army can't really hunt you down, and he's going to split on that side as well. No medevacs on this right army, though. Ooh, this is some weird army split, right? He's got 7 medevacs on the map, but none are on the right side. Oh my god, things are about to get weird, guys. Things are about to get weird. Showtime realizes there's an army on the left. He doesn't know about the army on the right. Oh my god, Clem with some dangerous positioning. Warp Prism gets inside the back! Oh! Does get a snipe there, though. Clem quick on the response. Shuts that one down. And it looks like Showtime with a big army in the middle. Clem, though, is on the surround. Oh, he's setting up for a big 360. Look at the way his army's separating. Oh my god, look at the way the army's coming in, guys. Oh, Showtime. If he can find just half of the army and jump on it, that could be really effective. The flanks are a bit slow to come on in here. The Colossus getting hunted down by the Vikings, but here comes the flank. Finally, it's here. Showtime's already crumbled that right side, but his disruptors were not well shot. He got them crossed. His balls kind of got tangled up there. A little bit of torsion with the disruptor shots, and that's very painful for Showtime because he actually did a great job of killing the army on the right. And if he just pulled over up this ramp and then defended that ramp, he could have pushed this army back. But now he's lost all of his disruptors, and that's a huge problem. Stalkers suck against Bio, and that is definitely an issue. The Stalkers there are going to try and defend. He's got a few cannons, a ramp, a single Colossus comes forward, so Showtime's still up in supply. He's also up on 86 workers. He's hunting down the ghosts. He gets 1, 2, 3 ghosts. Ooh, the Stalker army is very mobile. Remember, it's fragile. EMP Marauders will destroy it. But what it excels at... Oh, man, this Widow Mine it's like 4th Stalker kill of the game. It excels at hunting an army down if he catches a small number of units. So the mobility of the Stalkers is kind of deadly when paired with some explosive splash damage. I would really like to see Showtime kill this Widow Mine. He was okay. He was a bit triggered by it. He does get rid of it. But Clem secured a 5th base in the north. He's definitely not out of this game. He's building 5 ghosts and 3 libs at a time. Showtime's going to try and secure the bottom right. There is a Liberator coming down there. Stalkers come forward and snipe an air unit. I think it was a Liberator there. Got to watch out for the balls there. And, ooh, gets a Viking, but the Colossus goes down. Good snipes by Clem. Clement looking on point with his micro today. He's on 3-3 upgrades. +3 attack will finish for Showtime. Definitely would be nice for him to get the +3 ground armor as well. Bit of a bio movement there. Liberator comes in on the back side and is going to use that lib range to be very annoying. Great positioning on it. Showtime trying to hunt him down. He will get some of these units. The Liberator, I think, looks like the probes were pulled back. Showtime noticed that Liberator, so he's actually reacted to it very well. He may need to build an air unit to deal with it, though. Liberator is still down there. He's going to go Stalkers. I think they can... 1 or 2 should be able to reach it from there. No! Oh, no, he can't actually. Okay, so he builds a Phoenix now. Now, for those who don't know, a Phoenix takes 6 years to actually kill a Liberator. The Stalker Disruptor's going to have to move into these lib zones. Good EMPs on them, but I think a good enough position for Showtime where the Stalkers can just kind of shoot the libs down. The Bio can't stand and fight against the balls. And, yeah, that Liberator positioning is really quite good. I don't think there's anything like that on the top side. Oh! I mean, yeah, this one you can easily pick off with Stalkers, but he's finding damage. He's distracting Showtime, pulling his attention away. And then the Disruptors need a lot of micro. Showtime, yeah, look at that. Gets EMP'd. See how quick those Stalkers and Zealots crumble. DTs are going to run in, though, and that's the important move. You can't let the Terran dictate exactly where and when the fight's happening. It's important. Oh no, he's walking through the lib zone. Bit of a mistake with his disruptor pathing. Oh god, Showtime's in trouble. He gets the planetary on the north, but he's losing way too many units here with some sloppy control right now. He's got 10 gateways, but he's just spent his entire bank and he's down 30 supply. Normally, trading a base like that, not something you want to necessarily do as the Terran player. It's usually better for Protoss. Still very scary. Balls coming out. Oh, good ball. Gets a bunch of those units. Another lib goes down. So this is actually some good ground regained for Showtime. He's transferred workers. He's got still a few mineral lines up, but he's also lost a couple of gases mining there as well. That lib does get a stalker before going down. Now, remember, +2 range on those ship weapons, that actually makes them one-shot stalkers after they're EMP'd. So if there's ever a fight where he blinks in after getting EMP'd, he'll get destroyed. DTs run in. They do not find much at all. Oh, no! Showtime's in big trouble. Clem is going to dive on that bottom right base. These probes are kind of derping around the corner here. Trying to defend them is Showtime. He's going to have to, of course, throw those big balls out. That's right, guys. Berlin International Gaming. For those who don't know, that's what Big Esports is, Showtime's team. And they do say, you know, their mascot is a big disruptor shot. It's big balls, they say. Big balls for the win. That's kind of what you chant. You go to the stadium down there in Berlin. Big balls for the win. Definitely a true story, guys. Believe everything I say. Oh my god, he dodged every shot! He dodged every single disruptor shot! Those were not big balls. Clem's like, dude, those missed. Every single one seemed to dodge. I mean, maybe Showtime didn't target as well as he could have, but holy crap, Clem. Dude. Oh my god, I really thought that was a crazy move. To advance into those disruptors, to not just run away there, I thought that was craziness. But Clem apparently understands exactly what he can and cannot achieve with his micro. And in that case, it's a straight up game when he doesn't let Showtime remax, takes out the bottom right, pushes through here, defends the DTs on the top. We have to watch that fight again. Quick, let's do a little rewind. I was talking about other stuff and not paying attention almost because I really just thought he was going to back off. This was like nothing. This was not even his whole army by any means. But I really feel like you guys, Clem here was that little girl from those people in The Name of the Wind book that teach martial arts to him. And they dance around the tree with the knife leaves, the sharp leaves that fall off it. And the little girl like dances in and dodges them all. Clem is that little girl. Showtime is like visiting the village of Terran Micro and they're like laughing at him. They're like, you're too old to ever learn how to be actually good at like being agile and sick at martial arts and fighting like us. Look at, we could just, let's watch it. Just one more time, man. Look at the shots. Like, we'll talk honestly. Could he have microed the balls better? Let's see. Could Showtime have spread these a little bit better? Let's see. Obviously, Showtime was a bit surprised. We kind of throws them all out in panic. What the hell? That was a pretty good panic spread from Showtime. That was disgusting. It was pretty good. I mean, Clem. He was winning the game already. He was in a good position. But that's just not fair, dude. You're not meant to win like that. That was... What a freak. GG. Ties up the series 1-1. All right. Game number 3 is going to be a good one, I reckon. I do think he got away with a very dangerous point in the game. I do think Mr. Clem up here, after that early game, would have been put down or put away very likely by a Korean Protoss player. So I think Showtime did an excellent job. And he did push at a pretty good time. But remember, I was pointing out how that timing might be a little late. He only really did it after Clem stepped too far on his side of the map and he caught some of the army. That's like Showtime style. And Trap's kind of similar. I always think of Trap as like the Korean Protoss who he just plays perfect macro play and then he waits for you to make a mistake and then he's like, oh, okay, now I can kill you because you attacked into me, threw some units away and like, bam, spring across the map. I think Showtime could have gone for the 3 Colossus timing and it would have been just an incredible way to pick his opponent apart, especially if he paired it with, say, the Prism going into the main with some Zealots, maybe a few more sentries with his army to utilize Force Field. That could have been great. Either way, Showtime scouts for proxies here. He's checking everywhere for proxies. But Clem, a bit of a normie. Remember, I talked about predictability. Neither of these players has opened up with a proxy gate or a proxy barracks build. This is a European gentleman's match. Now, Europeans are the players who, they're just usually more willing to put their time into, hello, Karak sitting next to the water, isn't that pretty? More willing to put their time into trying to optimize their play for every game and every scenario. rather than trying to optimize a cheese or a super aggressive build, which they see as a bit more of a gamble and more as a, well, you can only really use that once in a series in a best of 5 or a best of 7. I'd rather optimize my main styles of play, my more solid styles of play. I want to get more ahead in all of my games. But there's definitely something powerful about having that Korean variance. Now, this was no Reaper, just Marine first. Now, because you save 50 gas, Marine versus Reaper allows you to get a very quick factory. And he even paused on the barracks. It just wasn't building anything for a while. So he goes, gets the factory down in minute 55, then builds the reactor. And this is kind of what you do with this build. The weakness of this build is that you cannot physically defend this command center from a Cybercore first chrono boosted adept. He doesn't have to worry about that because Showtime did go Nexus before Core, kept his adept at home for a while, and he only shades across just for he doesn't even go forwards for the scout. He's just kind of checking to make sure there's no proxy starport. So this is very much typical in that, like I said, there's a weakness where the adept can shade in, easily kill the SCV building this, kill the Marine, and then as the Terran, you can only send an SCV down safely at 3 minutes 10 seconds when these Hellions are out, and they push back the adept. Showtime doesn't take advantage of it. It's also something where with Hero, same with Parting back in the day, a lot of people said, oh, Parting is just so much better. How does he always kill people with his first adept and Stalker and no one else does? You got to realize that the Korean players often won't build a 14 pylon. They'll build a 12 or a 13 pylon. So they won't even build a probe at the start, or they'll only build one, and they'll build the pylon 1 or 2 supply earlier. Get the gateway 1 or 2 supply earlier, get the Cybercore earlier. And essentially, it's just they're cutting a bit of economy to hit faster, to open up these windows where the Terran isn't quite prepared. They, of course, sacrifice economy to do that, but they create openings which they can leverage into a very big lead. Now, this is going to be a very standard scenario, similar to game 1 in that there's a Blink on the way, and there is a Widow Mine drop, but no Raven. And this is a 4 Widow Mine drop as well. There's a lot of Widow Mines. 2 Stalkers and an Adept behind this. 2-gate Robo opening. That second gateway is not up too quickly, though. Oh, okay, the Adept sees these 2 Hellions. Now, that's good that he's getting some damage done. Those Hellions are going to really force 2 Stalkers at the front, which means the Widow Mines will easily get in. Is he just going to... Oh, he's going to unload Widow Mines on top of the Stalkers. Clem's going for the YOLO! He's going for the YOLO! Oh! He's going to drop at least 1 Widow Mine on those Stalkers to bust them open. You can see they pull back. There are more Stalkers behind it. He's going to have to... Oh, he focuses the medevac very well. Really well done by Showtime. And the Hellions go down as well. The probes taking 1 hit there, but good micro on those Widow Mines. And you can see the Stalkers. He doesn't want to lose them. Blink's not done. Now it's done. So now he can bait out the shots. Oh, does lose a probe to the splash damage, but overall, bloody exceptional handling, isn't it? Oh my god. 4 Widow Mines, 2 aliens for 3 probes and a bit of mining time. I mean, yes, he ran his probes all the way, but he's got a third already finishing. A fantastic position for Showtime. This is 3 games in a row where Showtime comes out on top of the early game. Like, dude, his early game is so tight. There's so much to be learned from just all the little details. How crisp he is on that. Now, there's already 2 tanks out. Wow, okay, so Clem should be very safe against the Stalker counterattack, but charge is on the way. Triple probe production. Does accidentally have 4 workers on this gas. Small mistake there, but he notices it as he builds a pylon. Forge there as well. Like, okay, landed Viking is going to come in and try to pick off some probes. It's a very low commitment piece of harassment. And that tank's in a very safe position. So the Stalkers get 1 SCV, and then they'll try and pick off the depot. Viking comes in. Does Showtime realize it? Yeah, his camera's here. Of course, you guys can see on this mod, the red box, the blue box, show where the player's cameras are. 1 Stalker behind each of those bases. But the Viking's happy to just pin these Stalkers back for now, right? Even that, it's like, hey, you don't have a Stargate. You can't get rid of it. And this is 2 supply wasting 4 supply. So, you know, it's a positive trade for now for Clem, as long as he keeps it back there and doesn't F2 the Viking, which, let's be real, it's only a matter of time. The moment he gets hit by a surprise Zealot drop or something, he'll do it. Oh! Blink in! Showtime! Oh, he gets a tank. He gets an SCV. 2 SCVs. Grabs a Marine. Oh, my God. And another. Oh, my God. Showtime! Oh my god, this is what I'm talking about, dude. He doesn't commit much. Hero would be in there with 14 Stalkers in the main saying, you know, I gotta do it now. He gets a tank and 5 Marines for shields. Oh my god. He's so bloody technical, isn't he? Oh man, some would argue too technical, you know, not YOLO enough. You see something like that, it's hard to argue with the superiority of his playstyle. He's hoping a drop comes out. Unfortunately for him, he doesn't see this move out. That could be a problem. Showtime might be getting a bit too fancy, hoping to catch a drop right now. Okay, he sees the Marauder moving out, so that tells him, oh, you've already moved out with your army. Get out of there, Showtime. Gets a Marauder, does blink away. Clem does not stim. Doesn't want to waste any hit points. Zealot drops coming across the map. Sentries are building at home. Sentry Immortal is very, very good. If you can get up like 3 Sentries, 2-3 Immortals, it's very powerful. We saw Hero in the GSL Finals versus Maru. And man, I'm telling you, like, that was some of the best mass Immortal play I've ever seen. His Immortals killed so much stuff. Zealot drop on the tank in the main, but Clem quickly picks it up, gets back to the choke point. We always talk about these choke points, how they help stop the big flood of Zealots. Oh, Showtime's watching, but does he get it? Oh, he does! He shuts down the Widowmine drop build. Doesn't quite get this tank in the back, though. But Showtime, how many Zealots did he lose there? He's lost 7 Zealots this game. I think he maybe already lost... No, there's probably 7 whole Zealots in that drop. So, yeah, it's not the best positive trade, but I think the fact that you've got Clem kind of stuck there... He does have a third coming up. You shut down the Widowmine drop as well. I mean, the units lost tab does look bloody amazing. 2.5 times the efficiency for Showtime. But very careful with his macro. Templar Archives coming down. His Forge is obviously a little bit behind. Hallucination comes forward, sees that Clem's in a very defensive stance. And at this point, you know you've kind of... Yeah, you put Clem in the corner a little bit. Got Bio Widowmine in the main as well. Now, Showtime looks like he wants to do a push. Oh, that could work really well, right? Because there's only 1 tank anchoring this scenario. He could just shove the front. Oh, that's what he's going to do. He's going to try and get the command center again, just like back on Inside Out. He's got a cannon in the 3rd. No 4th base just yet. No storm, nothing like that. He's just saying, screw it, dude. Like, I got 8 gateways of Zealot, Archon, Stalker. Let's go. He also could hit the natural because that tank doesn't really cover too much. I mean, it's going to be a position that Clem can fall back to. Clem does bring everything out of the main to the front, so Clem seems to sense that he's weak right now. Oh, he sees the army. Here we go! Showtime's gonna go for it! Oh! Force fields could have been big! He missed his opportunity to force field it. Bad force fields for Showtime. Very slow on those. Now his army's splitting up a little bit. Showtime could have trapped that bio in a position where it wouldn't be able to retreat. You could see the F2 for Clem. The Viking just flew over the cannon in that 3rd base. But where's the Warp Prism? There we go. Zealot still coming in, man. It seems like Clem's being isolated here. He's going to do some very good micro, but the Guardian Shield and the Archons are very scary. A little bit of bio comes in from the south. Here we go. Let's try and make that screen as big as possible. There's fights going on every which way, and I think you just got to keep jumping on the army as Showtime. The command center seems juicy, but I think you just win the game if you kill the bio, and yeah, he does both. He gets the army and the command center, and Showtime once again just shutting down Clem's aggression in the early game. All right, well, his openings are spectacular, man. I love it. The fact that he mixed in the gas first, kind of like Sentry, fake out Phoenix in game 2. That last game was just technical, precise. I'm telling you, it's mental overload when that Widowmine drop comes in. The Hellions drive in at the same time. You're pulling probes away. You're spreading Stalkers in 2 directions, focusing the medevac, then focusing the Hellions, without actually letting your Stalkers run into Widowmine range. Only a big boy like Showtime could pull that one off. Repping big esports. Of course, his opponent, Team Liquid's Clement. I remember when it dawned on me live on stream as I was casting, I was like, Clem. I was like, is that... I was like, you know, I've never actually asked what his name was about. And then I was like, wait, is that like... is that for his name? It must be short for his actual name. That's a French name, right? Clementine. I had a lot of comments being like, Pig, it's not Clementine, that's the girl's name, it's Clement. And I was like, oh, I should know that. I'm a big Flight of the Conchords fan, you know? I should know that name. I've never had a friend called Clement, but I should know it. But yeah, I called him Clementine for like a full cast, I believe, before getting corrected on that one. That was you know, classic pig intelligence. We've had a lot of, you know, cases of that, of me like casting random people's games and like just completely misreading what the name is. I think that's a habit from Twitch chat, where like Twitch chat scrolling and I'm just kind of glancing at a few of the letters and then making up what it sounds like, what people's names are, because it goes by, you know, quickly, and I'm just kind of glancing at it while playing. But nonetheless, we are improving little by little. I haven't mentioned Archons, Zealots, or Missile Torrents yet today, so... Oh, Clem's doing the Beyond build. Okay, Beyond really likes to just not scout on this build, take the in-base command center. Now, the way this works is this SCV can mine minerals after this finishes. So while it's morphing into an orbital, it times out that just as long as it takes to turn into an orbital, it takes the SCV to mine a trip there, or two trips on this one trip on this one, since it's already taken 5 minerals off in its hand. So then you lift the orbital, move it over, and it only costs you a single SCV to do, and, well, you've got a very easily defensible ramp. So I actually really like this build order. I do think Beyond's maybe a little predictable with it, but cool to see how it goes. Ooh, can he see the Stargate? Does he go in deep? Does he go in deep? He sees it. Good move. Doesn't risk hanging around and trying to kill a probe. He could have lost that. So Showtime does end up having his Stargate scouted. And you can see that he's going to transfer probes to the natural. Man, he's so on point with chronoing. He actually does a double chrono. Now, I'm very fascinated by that. I think this might be only because he's playing Clem. I don't think usually most players like Showtime want to invest in chronoing 2 adepts out because they want to just chrono their probes. But I think he just realizes that the Reaper micro is very good. It's hard to shut it down on the map. Now, ooh, the Reaper might grab a probe on the way home. That could be very nice. He's going to potentially grab it. The adept's coming out to try and escort that probe home and does manage to do so. You see here the command center finishes, and look at that. The orbital finishes pretty much as that last mineral patch is mined out. So very nicely timed build by Clem. Ooh, and it's factory into second barracks. Now what's great for him is because he knows it's Stargate, going straight into Cyclone, he knows that he's already picked a very good path. And he could also go, if he wants to, he could go combat shields first and actually do a marine tank push. 1 Cyclone, 1 tank, and about 12 marines. But he's going to go stim first, play it a bit more standard. And with this build, he might delay both of these gases for a long time, get a 3rd barracks, and he could actually do a giant Marine Marauder tank push with stim, shields, a couple of tanks, or a couple of cyclones if he thinks there's lots of air units. And he could actually push really early and just delay the gases, delay the starport. Obviously, if you take those gases, you get your tech out, your upgrades a bit quicker, but you do slow down just the constant stream of Marine production, which Showtime now spotting both of those barracks, very good for him. It's a shame that Clem didn't keep the Cyclone up here, because if he stopped Showtime from scouting that, Showtime might play a bit greedier. But as it is, Showtime's playing 3-gate blink after just a single Oracle. I think he'd love to kill the Reaper, but for now he hasn't found it. His Oracle's like hunting for it. He's like, where are you? And the Reaper's just chilling on the Watchtower. 3rd Nexus is going up there for Showtime. The starport does go down, so we do expect a 3rd gas geyser very soon. Otherwise, he's not going to be able to build anything out of that starport. So it's 2 barracks into starport. 3rd barracks goes down soon afterwards. Oh, Showtime gets intercepted there. He was not expecting that to move out. Now, we want to check. Did he see the 3rd barracks? No, he did not. Still no 3rd gas, though, for Clem. Clem apparently knowing exactly how much he can skimp on that gas. There we go. 3rd gas goes down, 445. 2 shield batteries are out. This is a scary amount of units. 3 gateways should be enough production to deal with it. Blink is just 50 seconds away, though. Blink's still miles away. Ah, man. Having an Oracle that could zip in and kill SCVs right now would really make this a much more committed move. But as it is, Clem's kind of chilled out. He's got stim, though. He's got a lot of damage density. Cyclone does go down. He hasn't focused the tank just yet, but... oh, man. The tank and the Cyclone fall. This seems like a really bad push for Clem. He does start to take out some units, but loses a lot of those things, and I think a very good time to turn away. Any longer he stays, these Stalkers are going to rip him apart because battery overcharge was still available. Blink's almost done, so he's got to try and get out of there. He's going to stim, turn to chase the Stalkers, but I think he's got to run. Showtime's happy to pull back here. Blink's back the weak Stalker, and he says, oh yeah, you're coming into my territory now, buddy. Good Reaper Grenade! Very good Reaper Grenade, but he could blink and maybe get 1 or 2 more Marines here if he chooses. So Showtime does get, yeah, he gets the Reaper and another Marine. Very good trades all in all for Showtime, who once again has a fantastic opening. 3rd is fully saturated. Forge is on the way. He's going up to 5 gateways. So he's going to be able to go up into that. Beautiful play. Another pause does come in. Looks like they did have some lag issues playing this tournament, but of course they just pause, wait for it to settle, and then do replay it. Stalker's blinking across there and grabbing a couple of SCVs. Very juicy. Ooh, he wanted the medevac, but good micro by Clement. And Showtime with some very good blink back micro. Doesn't quite get the Widow Mine, but he does get another Marine, damaging a lot of units, which it's unlikely Clem will take the time to repair that. Oh! Oh, take that, haters! Take that! They're like, pro gamers never repair their units. It's so dumb. Clem, though. Look at that. The Widow Mines basically say, hey, if you blink across here, it's going to be a really bad trade for you. I'll just leave those there for now. Stalkers still have the mobility advantage, but they're wounded, and with stim and medevacs and shields now done as well. Definitely Showtime just going to bait stims, run away, bait stims, run away. Oh, he actually can land hits from that high ground. I didn't realize you could reach from there. Very good moves. Zealot sentries coming in. Does he have any immortals yet? No, not just yet. His robo's not quite finished. Showtime pulling a Stalker off the Watchtower and losing that vision. This is always nasty. Because as Showtime, look at his vision. He doesn't know if he's getting dropped there. So he kind of has to pull back to a very defensive stance. He's building a shield battery in the main. I wouldn't be surprised if he builds another pylon or two up here, as there's only 2 pylons powering these gateways right now. Bit of an Artosis pylon. But a nice quick 4th Nexus for Showtime. He hasn't done that much in this series so far. But this time around, he's happy to push his lead a little bit. Clem, though, is like, dude, I'm just going to parade push you. Biomine coming forwards. Widowmine drop on the north gets defended. Showtime might have a few too many units there. That's a pretty big amount of units. The Zealots in the middle. Baiting a stim's not bad, but Clem does get 1 Zealot for it. And of course, the Bio will heal up. In the short term, if they fight soon after that, obviously you'd trade a Zealot for a stim, trade a Zealot for a stim, trade a Zealot for a stim, then take the fight and crush it. But the Widowmine drop got spotted returning home, so Showtime's just going to leave 5 wounded Stalkers in the top. Remember, 5 is the magic number to 2-shot medevacs. And a second Robo and a Robo Bay, so he's going to go for the Colossus transition. 68 pros versus 59 SCVs. Clem is up to 5 barracks, but he is simply behind on the tech. He's up in the army by 16, 19 supply now. He's only down 8 workers, so it's about even economy up in the army supply, but he's behind in the upgrades. +1 armor starts earlier for Showtime than his +1. And his tech's behind. He's adding the Ghost Academy now, but he's only getting his 4th and 5th add-ons. He doesn't have any Vikings in the sky. Double Colossus is starting. If Showtime goes for a 4 Colossus push... I keep talking about the 4 Colossus push. The only way Clem beats that is by going around the army and kind of base trading and counterattacking. Or if he gets some damage done right now, at this point, because he's got a very big set... Oh, he's got 8 Widow Mines. Oh, Zealots are not good versus 8 Widow Mines. Oh, Showtime's lost track of his army. Showtime doesn't have the vision. He senses that he's down here, but Clem's going to get a very good position. This is a really good spot. Mass Zealot doesn't do well versus this. The Stalkers come forward, but those Zealots are going to be very clumped up. Showtime's got to be real careful here, man. The Stalker Cannon doesn't offer much damage. Oh, man, he's just getting outgunned. Even with the battery overcharge, he can't really do anything there. The Zealots need to flank this army. If he doesn't flank this army, he's in trouble, but he sees there's such a big Widow Mine spread. Oh my god, he needs the Colossus. Showtime's got to buy time. He's got to buy time. Oh my god, he goes forwards. He does set off a lot of the Widow Mines. Guardian Shield's good, but he will lose that sentry pretty quickly. The Colossus is down here, and he does manage to hold on. Showtime survives a very scary moment in the game, but I think good trades for Clem. Overall, you can see that Clem took some very nice trades. He's way ahead in the units lost now, so he gets rid of a lot of the Zealots. He killed 20 Zealots in those fights, and he picks up and goes north. Now, the observers see this. Clem doesn't know he's been spotted. Okay, now he glimpses those Stalkers. Oh, it was a scary moment for Clem. Bit of a dangerous pickup, but at least that Showtime now doesn't know where he is, so he's got to split his army between his bases, and he's got to play very defensive for now. 3rd Colossus is out, 4th Colossus on the way. If he builds a Warp Prism, I think, like I said, I still think he could go kill him with Mass Colossus. Because, guys, how many Vikings are on the field? None. This army, the Widow Mines, are worthless versus a Colossus Sentry army. If Showtime warped in 2 more Sentries, had a Warp Prism coming out, goes across with 4 Colossus, I think he wins the game. Right now, though, his army's a little split, but good positioning for Showtime. There's no way this works for Clem, right? Clem pushing into a very dangerous area. This is an interesting position. He's got so many Widow Mines, he's trying to force Showtime to kind of walk into those Widow Mines. Looks like, though, the Zealots are kind of spreading out and really defusing most of those Widow Mines. So the Widow Mines all go down, and he's up to 29 Zealots killed, but all the Widow Mines are being depleted, and I do think Clem's still in a dangerous spot against this Colossus count, and he's got mobility, but I would like to see Clem drop the top, drop the bot, and kind of swing back and forth, buying time for the quad Viking production. Give him 1 more minute, and he has enough Vikings. He also has a good ghost count. I think he's okay now that the Vikings are out. Showtime, though, is going to go to the Disruptor DT late game, so Showtime's not interested in finishing the game now. I keep talking about what he should do. I really should be talking about what he's focused on doing. I'm a little bit focused on what I would normally see Hero use to win the game, because I've been casting so much of his PvT lately, but let's remember that Showtime, he's going to go for that big wave of DTs, blink on a planetary, kill it, blink on a planetary, kill it. So that's the real kind of winning move for Showtime, is keep you at arm's length with my Disruptors, blink on your ass with my DTs. Oh, he spots a single Marine there. Oh, I don't think he has enough units, though. That's a quad drop. I don't think he realizes that's 4 medevacs. Yeah, even with battery overcharge, that's a lot of bio. He's got Guardian Shield and battery overcharge, so maybe? But I think he really needs a Colossus or something up here. Yeah, I don't know, man. This is a scary, scary army. Okay, brings a Disruptor at least. A big ball comes forward. The bio is getting kind of worn down by the stims and whatnot. Oh, okay, still gets 2 Marauders, and a Colossus comes north. Very good split here by Showtime of his army. Stalkers come in, they grab a Viking. The Colossus here are a little exposed. but so are those Vikings. One Colossus falls. You can see its body getting kind of tangled on the other Colossus there. But, oh, the Stalkers target the empty medevac. Unfortunate for Showtime. A bit lucky for Clem. Gets 2 full medevacs out on the north. His 5th command center's on the way. He's got +2 armor and +3 weapons, as well as +1 ship weapons. Now finishing 2 disruptors. 2-2 on the way for Showtime. Showtime is on 10 gateways, and he's going to build 4 more. He says, taking a leaf out of Raynor's book, having more gateways is always good. Showtime hearing this commentary out there, if he ever listens to this, he's shaking his head. He's like, Pig, don't you friggin' dare say I'm learning how to play PvT from Raynor. Shut up, man. I'm sorry, Toby. I know you're much more solid in this matchup than Raynor is. But here we go. Oh, balls! Oh, Clem's reaction's very good. More balls going out, though. But he baits him. Remember, guys, he hasn't hit the magical number of 9 disruptors that you need to actually land hits on Clem. That Colossus on the north a bit exposed. But, oh, man, the bio pulls back. The balls are empty right now. Showtime has to pull back and recharge. He says, give me a minute, honey. I'll be ready to go in a sec. Clem does not want to give him that time. Gets another Colossus kill. The disruptors do start to recharge, and Clem, oh, he's going to go for the Doom Drop. Oh, he's been working that northern Doom Drop angle so well. Showtime kind of senses that might be the case, and he does spot it moving on through. Luckily for him, the Colossus can walk up this ledge, but they kind of path out a little bit weird sometimes. Don't get stuck there, Daddy Longlegs. Uh-oh. Oh, Showtime, careful! Careful! He loses one of his Colossus there. Oh, the other one takes a big volley as well. How many Colossus has he got? Only 1 left. Now, there's 10 Vikings on the field, so he's obviously not really wanting to rebuild those unless he can get rid of the Viking count. The DTs with Blink, I think this took a bit longer to get going than he would have liked, but he will be able to deny the 5th base of Clem pretty much certainly, because Clem's moving his reinforce out. Yeah, Clem's bringing everything to the front. Observer moves forward there. As Showtime, oh man, this is so irritating. Because it's just so hard, because if you move your army down here, it's awkward blinking across that, but you don't want to move too much up here. Clem! How are you reacting so fast? How do you always react so fast? Can you teach me how to do that, please? He says, yes, just be born a god of StarCraft and have some of the quickest reactions in the game. That was a sneaky ball. Remember, Showtime knew where he was because the Observer. Clem did not know. But he sees those units wander in range, and that's it. Oh, the planetary was not finished, so he cancels it and lifts. 2 Archons do morph. They get taken down. But now he knows about the DTs, so he should be ready for it. Now, the trick is you want to leave 2 Widow Mines at a planetary, so when they blink on it, a double Widow Mine splash will almost one-shot the DTs. It'll allow the planetary splash damage to actually one-shot them. So you can get 2 or 3 Widow Mines. I mean, a Liberator's not bad. Obviously, it does almost one-shot the DTs as well if the planetary splash has gone off, but getting 1 or 2 Widow Mines is the absolute king. The problem is he's not building mines right now. His factory's just been building add-ons, so he can't really do it. This is a very small army, but there's a flank on the north! Oh, Clem! Clem broke the rocks. He's coming in from every single side. He gets 3 of the disruptors. He does eat some big balls to the face, but Showtime, a lot of his army was up in the main base. It's making its way down, but he's lost his artillery. His disruptors, his most important pieces. He's only got 2 balls left. A lot of Protoss players would say that's enough, but not when you're playing against Clem. DTs do blink on top, and actually that's very, very good for turning that fight around a little bit. The DTs, they could actually stay in there. I don't think Clem realized they were there. There was no scan and no EMP on the DTs either. The disruptors are back up. Carriers are building. Oh, and he's got +1 air weapons on the way. Now, obviously, with +3 ground armor, Marines and Ghosts are still going to wreck carriers in small numbers, so there's a dangerous transition going on. He needs to keep up the disruptors, and the chronos on those does Showtime just to survive at this point. Look at that. He spots the high ground with the turret. He's going to blink across. Lovely maneuver there, using that DT blink. Showtime's gold base, his 7th base, will get denied here. Cancels. DTs, though, picking off those SCVs in the main. Nice snipe, does get 1 of them. Turret goes down on the right side, though, says, hey, you're going to have to use another scan if you want to deal with this. And that, of course, is always a bit of a nuisance. Clem having a kind of fumble around with these units a little bit. The DT does go down. Showtime not bothering to micro that. Plasma shields and +1 air armor on the way. It's actually way more important to get +2 air attack, but he's got 2 cyber cores, so he's just got to remember to do that. There's a lot going on, though, right now. And obviously trying to just keep his opponent back. DT's blinking again. They're going into the main. Oh, Clem just accidentally lifted all of his barracks. Misclick. He meant to lift 1 barracks, and he lifted every barracks off all the add-ons in his main. He has to manually tell every single one to land. Oh, no, guys. He's on his last life. And he lifts them again. Oh, no. He lifts them again. Clem is in full panic mode right now. Advanced ballistics gets denied. Oh, no! He lifts him again! Clem is in 100% panic mode. I mean, he fixed it up way quicker than almost any other player would be able to fix it up. But I'm telling you, that is so hard in that situation. And look at this. Showtime dives on, gets a Liberator, gets another Liberator. Clem does have a backstab army, but that means there's no way he can fight on the front. The carriers are there. There's a good Viking count, so Showtime's got to be careful. And he doesn't have the vision. Oh, he's going to get flanked. Clem's going to go for the surround. He doesn't want to go for the run by, the base trade. Oh, the Disruptor shots are very scary, as are the Stalker ones. How many carriers we got out? 3 carriers, 4th one's building. Showtime is maxed, and it's going to be hard for him to get any further. He's got to keep getting these air upgrades going and make sure he's ready to keep adding carriers. Now, what's really good, if you just have 3 or 4 carriers in a fight, it creates so much fodder for your opponent to deal with. So much fodder. Like, it's such a hard issue to deal with, man. Oh! He blinks 4 Stalkers across, kills the Lib, and lets the DTs into the base. He says, all right, kids, in you go. Sick 'em. Sick 'em, Dark Templar. The Dark Templar go in there and start biting these SCVs, man. Letting off a savage, violent dog in the bloody kids play center. That is not the ball pit I would want to let my my SCV children work in, if you know what I'm talking about. The command center down there does get forced to lift as well, but Clem's hanging on quite okay. He's on 8 barracks. He's got a 3rd starport up. He's rebuilding his fusion core. I say he's rebuilding it, but actually the SCV died on it. So how many times is Advanced Ballistics going to get denied? I do not know. Oh, looks like the DT wandered back into the scan, but the units were already running away. And oh man, these DTs are so annoying. These DTs are so annoying. Great moves for Showtime. Does he bother blinking out? No. He's just like, dude, they're expendable, whatever. Replace them with more carriers. He's getting 2/2 air upgrades. I would like to see +2 plasma shields for Showtime as well. He's also on 14 gateways, 5 more coming in. So he's going to go to 19 gateways. Dead Planetary. Great snipe for Showtime. He's just got to be careful that Clem can't surround him. Clem's coming in with a big move. But the zoning balls are nice. I think it's time for Showtime to add Psystorm, and he knows this better than everyone. I've had conversations with him about this, and he's on... Oh, no, watch out. The Vikings are getting his carriers. Oh, I think a bit of panic from Showtime. I think Showtime could have just moved over to those cannons and withdrawn behind that. I think he panicked really bad with the recall. Trying to move north was the wrong call. Gets a lot of his army caught out. Dude, he lost every disruptor except 3. He's rebuilding them, but only 2 at a time. He does have a 3rd robo, but I don't think it's control grouped. Let's see. Yeah, he's only got 2 robos on his control group and 3 Stargates. So he's trying to rebuild. He's going to go for a Zealot Stalker counterattack, which can definitely do some damage. Losing the gold is not an issue. It's the fact that this base could go down right afterwards. Oh! BM Pylon! A Spite Pylon. Showtime drops a Spite Pylon and gives the middle finger to that command center and says, you want to land here, dickhead? The one probe that actually makes a difference 20 minutes into the battle. The Stalker dive gets the Planetary. Building armor was not quite finished. He gets in there just before that, and he's got 3 balls to cover his retreat. That should do the job, but he needs Psystorm because Storm will destroy Viking Lib. Now, obviously, it can get EMP'd, but having a few High Templars spread around punishes this sort of movements. Right now, he doesn't have any anti-air splash damage, and that's a big problem. No, nothing to land on that, and oh my god, this is such a scary push. 140 army supply of Terran. The Stalkers trying to defend, but another carrier goes down. He's making more Stalkers. Stalkers will not defeat this army. The Disruptor balls are going forth, but the dodges are good, and remember, there are not 9 Disruptors here. No 9 Disruptors equals usually no win. Attacking into a choke point. He's got 20 gateways. Showtime might feel that he can just rebuild, remax, and go for it. But there is unlimited EMPs in there. There's also 8 medevacs with non-stop healing. The carriers are all gone. It's just Stalker, Zealot, Disruptor versus Bio. Now, the Bio is kind of stimming itself to death here. The Disruptor count 3 at a time. He has now control grouped those Robos, guys. So he's actually getting 3 Disruptors at a time. Clem has got to resecure that bottom, but the Spite Pylon's denying his 7th base. And that is a problem because the bases are starting to mine out. Clem has he's worked through most of Showtime's bank, and Showtime's remaxed on a rather trash tier army. But Showtime keeps this base alive. Showtime's got more DTs coming in as well. Command center lands. DTs say, nah, dickhead. But wait, there is Bio and Liberators coming south. So Clem, okay, Showtime, micro, get out of there. Get out of there. Show us that max packs level micro. Scan goes down. DT falls. The other DT tries to blink away. It does get out of there as well. The Spite Pylon distracted the units for just half a second. Well done. Looks like this is going to be an orbital out in the middle. That's a free kill there for Showtime. No Iron Bank for you, mate. He is up to how many orbitals? Only 5. Losing these orbitals is a problem. It means he won't have unlimited scans or income with the mules. Oh my god, he gets another orbital. Gets another orbital, does he? No, he pulls back. Doesn't want to throw his army away. He says no. Oh no, the Disruptor rally gets caught. Oh, this is big. That's a big move. That's a big move. The balls are out in the open. He actually pulls back and hits himself with his own ball. He throws a panic ball from the right side. Showtime's in a little bit of panic. He does not want to lose this army. He's just lost yet again another few thousand resources. He is down 12,000 in the units lost. Clem is out trading him like crazy with this one giant army. And the Zealot Stalker is not doing well. He needs to rebuild the carriers. Now that most of the Vikings are gone, Showtime needs to remember to rebuild the carriers or some Colossus. Something that's going to take advantage of the lack of Vikings. But with so many Liberators, 9 range Liberators, Showtime has to give up the base. He's got a few Disruptors to defend. He's thinking about going for the base trade. He's got a few Stalkers there. Planetary Liberator defense. Single Marauder goes down to the first zoning Disruptor, but the Libs are here, and the Libs say, no, no, no. EMP plus Stim Bio. And another swift kick to the balls. Those ones do go down. Disruptor falls back into the natural, but the Liberator's sieging up. Showtime has to go for the base trade, but this was not plan A. This is plan B or even plan C. And he's going to lose his Fleet Beacon Stargate Robotech very early because it's all in his natural. Uh-oh, that's a big issue. Orbital is going down, and one of the big problems that he's going to face is not only is this Liberator killing all the Zealot DT in the bottom, it finally goes down, but he's going to defend his ramp, is Clem. The question is, can Showtime defend his ramp? I think he should send DTs in here one at a time, and then that way Clem needs to keep scanning or EMPing, but there's no way you're going to breach the production of Clem. You're just going to pick off his economy. On the other hand, Showtime has the gold. Showtime has this base as well. He's got a few Disruptors in his main that might be able to hold on, especially with Recall available. Oh, Clem tries to defend the natural. Oh my god, that might be a big mistake. Clem moving down to the natural may be a huge mistake, but the Bio does very well versus the EMP'd Stalkers. There's only 3 Disruptors here. He's got a Recall. Now, he might be thinking, oh, I'm doing big damage, let's do more. Showtime needs to realize he's about to get cornered. He's still got a much bigger economy up, 70 probes. He's got 1 base mining, another base mining, gas at the least. He's got to get out of here, though. He gets the planetary. This is a good move. He leaves the DT to try and do some damage. There's only a few orbitals left. Clem's economy is really bad, but Showtime needs to add some more meat and potatoes to this army. He's got to group his Disruptors. Look at the way Clem's surrounding, guys. Look at the way Clem is surrounding that army. He is not letting him escape. He can't recall the whole army as well. Showtime's going to try and fight here. He's going to try and fight. Watch this, though. Look at the spread of units coming in. It's going to be hard to land these Disruptors. Zealot Reinforce comes in. Showtime says, let's go. Goes in with the Zealot Stalker. He throws some Disruptors. He lands 1, but not in a big way. The other Disruptors looking very exposed. These EMPs are absolutely savage. He gets a Ghost and 2 Vikings with that one. Another Disruptor rallies in from the right side. Can Showtime make it count? Can Showtime make it count? No, it looks like he can't quite reach the Ghosts and the Bio. Get out of range. Those Disruptors unload, but they do not find the mark, and Clem, with an untouchable core of Ghost Liberator, does end up finding massive, massive trades. Showtime gets in there with, what, 2 Stalkers, 1 DT. They're not long for this world. The Marine Marauder will hunt it down. The last Stalker gets home, but he just doesn't have any money. Liberators were denying his gold during that as well. I didn't even notice that. And Clem realizes, oh, I deny the gold and you're out of money. You got a couple mineral patches up there, but that's it. Clem might not have mining, but you don't need mining when 11 Ghosts, 6 Liberators, 9 Marauders, and 9 Medevacs refuse to die. Well, 2 Ghosts do go down. First Disruptor shot that's landed in a while, but the Libs are just unanswered. I mean, what, 3 Stalkers to shoot up, a couple of DTs, a couple of Zealots. If he could get rid of the orbitals, there'd be no detection. Actually, right now there is no detection, but he's got Ghosts. He can just EMP the DTs to reveal them. These Stalkers, oh no, Showtime, run! He's going to get the Lib, but lose all 4 Stalkers, and there's many more Libs where that came from. It's a huge problem for Showtime, whose income, 600 minerals a minute, 300 gas. He's got a few Disruptors, but a few Disruptors, we've seen Clem just doesn't get hit. Command Center is sneaking out right now for Clem in case this becomes a bit of a base trade. Zealot Stalker will come in and do some very good damage. He sees no Command Center landed. Showtime's got to feel like maybe he has a blister of hope. Just a blister of hope? Yeah, a blister, because it's painful right now. He realizes that popping this blister is probably not going to work for him. Weird visual imagery to describe this scenario. My point is, it doesn't feel good. It lives, the Ghost, the Bio, the dodging on the Disruptors are just so powerful. He tries to recall some of his units. Can these guys even get out, though? He's going to have to blink away. Blink away, run! Snipes! Oh, the Ghost just sniped all of the Zealots. Ouchie, ouchies. More Stalkers warping in on below ground. His Robos, I believe, are mostly depowered. Yes, they are. They never got repowered, so it's just the same 2 balls from earlier on. Ah, they're in the open! He does throw both of them, but unfortunately unable to find the mark. Clement always dodging the balls, and Showtime, man, he was so close to taking him out in this game, but Clem is hard to put in the ground and finish off. We see the DTs trickling in, but he just EMPs it. Does EMP a few of his own Ghosts at the same time, but I think he's all right with that. He comes down here to eliminate the economy, realizes, hey, the economy doesn't even exist anyway. Command center is exposed. Showtime, of course, is going to keep working because he's got mining in the top, actually. That is his mining, isn't it? It's just that there's no way he lands anything on this army. What's the best thing to use here? Immortals to kill the Marauders? I think like Immortal, Colossus, that sort of stuff. But it's just this problem you have where you're like, oh, I kind of need to have a big army with lots of disruptors. In small fights, the Stalker Zealot performs absolutely appallingly badly. Stalkers try to blink away, but the Marauder Marine punishes, gets a few of them. Good focus fire for Showtime, but nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. And Concussive Shell Marauders hunting them down. Oof. Painful, man. Showtime's going to lose all of those Stalkers. Rebuilds 4 of them, but, I mean, he's losing them essentially for free. There is still mining going on right now. And, hot diddly damn, dude. The gateway count, 18 gateways. You know, I think this really, that there was a few moments just where Clem caught the army, and that moment where Showtime tried to move north and got a lot of his balls caught, recalled half his army, I do think if he pulled back and defended his gold, he could have potentially held on. But yeah, Clem was so good at, whenever Showtime grouped up for a push, Clem would surround him and trap him. And I feel like what Showtime needed to do was like quickly pull back and just keep backstabbing with big DT backstabs. But he needed big backstabs. He needed to switch it up. Whenever Clem's pushing him, big backstabs and just stall for time with disruptors. Whenever Clem's defending, grab your whole army, run in sniper base, and then run away, right? And that's kind of like the mode which Showtime needed to switch between. Clem was just too agile, too fast. Like, he wouldn't give Showtime a chance to do it. Showtime's trying to long distance mine. Stalker Disruptor. He's hoping for the Hail Mary shot. I mean, you've got to hang in here and fight for it. Even though you got another life after this, you're still going to be like, dude, there's always a chance. If Terran's not mining at all, like, I've got disruptors. Maybe we distract him, make him look elsewhere, and then bam, the disruptor lands and we win the game just like that, right? The Observer is tracking the army. If Clem notices it and EMPs it, he'll be good. Oh, he gets it through the bush! Triple Ghost and a Liberator! Triple Ghost, a Liberator, and another surprise ball. But these balls are now empty, and when your balls are empty, that's when Clem is most dangerous. EMP'd Stalkers, and now look at that. He just says, nope, there's only 2 disruptors. There's nothing else to fear. The Liberator gets focused down. The Stalkers try to cover for them. But Clem realizes there is just not enough load left in those disruptors. And single DT is the last man standing. 8 Stalkers here with 3-3-1. It's going to be GG. Clem's going to drop on the gold, get some mules. He's still got 6 Marauders, 7 Marines, 3 Ghosts, and a Liberator. And most importantly, this base is mining out. That's right, 150 minerals, 35 minerals, 125 minerals. 1 Stalker cannot beat a Liberator in time. So he's going to lose a bunch of these probes. Stalkers could blink in together and fight it, but at the same time, the Stalkers in the front getting EMP'd and chased around. Oh no, Showtime! Remember, these are +3 libs. Oh my god. Oh my god. So painful. And Clem here with his mule income. He's moved some SCVs down there. He's like, yeah, 350, 400 minerals a minute. Let's go. The Stalkers are going to try and intercept the rally. The Sensor Tower sees the Stalkers, so the Marine stims away. This Liberator, oh my god. So Showtime's got to, like, heal at the battery, blink in together. Having a significant portion of his economy denied since this single mineral patch. Actually, it's only 15 minerals, but the gas being denied is a bummer. It's moments like these where Protoss players wish Archons were actually useful units, but actually there's only 2 Ghosts. Showtime's going to give up. Yeah, even if he made a few Archons there, I mean, he'd need to get rid of the Ghosts for those to be effective at all. And those 2 Ghosts can just EMP him down. GG, well played. What a game 4. And we're going to go to game 5. Heck yeah. All right, well, they fought their way to here. It's been a very close series. We're going to go into a map with a very short rush distance and a free base in the back, but it's only got 3/4 of the normal minerals and half of the normal gas. Showtime in the bottom right side, not going to risk anything in game 5. He's going to go for an early probe scout. His opponent, Clem, in the top left, going for a barracks gas. And this is a map where most players like to open with the Quick Reaper because it gets across the map so early. It just jumps down here, goes across the map, jumps on in. And unless the Protoss keeps you at home with a Zealot or something like that, usually you can kill a probe. We'll see, of course. Showtime, an exceptional micro player. If he can slow down the barracks building at all, excuse me, that would help. One of the moves which Zest used to do, and a few of the other Protoss players, they'd just send a probe across at the very start of the map. And what they'd do is they'd get here as the depot finishes and block the barracks from building, and basically just harass enough to delay the barracks by a few seconds. And that would make them a bit more comfortable. This is Nexus into Cybercore. Holy Showtime. What? That is like... Guys, I said this is already a very dangerous map. But that Reaper could kill like 2 probes, I think. If he goes straight across the map, doesn't chase the probe at all. So unless the probe hangs around and then attacks the SCV at like 2 minutes and 6 seconds, 2 minutes 10 seconds, and tries to lure him back, then yeah, that could be rough. But he's going for the bunker there. That does pull 3 probes to the low ground. 4 probes. Wow, big pull. But if the SCV builds here or here, it can't be attacked. Let's see how lucky Clem is. And he pops off, pops on. He's trying each time, he's basically rolling the dice to see where the SCV will build from. Uh-oh, Showtime is not going to be able to stop that getting up, is he? And I feel like you almost never can. The Stalker is on the way. These probes are going to have to pull back, though. Shield battery? Doesn't put shield battery down, interestingly. Loses one. Will he lose the second? Good focus fire on the weak one there from Showtime. Clem. Clem gets 2 probes. It's a little rough, but the bunker is quite damaged. I like how he pretends to focus the SCV and then shoots the bunker, realizing Clem was going to pop in the moment the projectile was headed towards the SCV. Still no battery on the low ground, though. Bizarre. You always go for that battery, but I guess Showtime is just like, I don't want to waste money on it. He's saying, I don't think I need to. Just rally my probes to the main for now. Let's go in, do some nice damage. You got to hit the SCV, though. And you can see, with only 1 Reaper, it doesn't do a lot of damage. Clem, he's trying to do the grenade as well, and he's trying to get extra hits on this Stalker so it doesn't start regenning. So we can actually get through the shields. And let's see how good Clem is at that micro. Yeah, you can see he's targeting that Stalker whenever it goes in range. And he's dodging the projectiles. Oh, this is why you build a shield battery, because Clem is so annoying. But he is selling the bunker now. He gets a 3/4 refund on it. The Reaper should be going down. And indeed it does. Sees the Twilight Council, though. Stalkers will be continuing production as well as Blink. 3rd Stalker pops out. Command Center has finished behind this. And Clem, just 1 Hellion out on the map. He's going to send that to Scout. So if the Stalkers moved out, that would be able to drive in. Otherwise, he could just use it to deny a 3rd base going down. Rowboat building at the natural. And another pylon goes down here at 43 supply. 35 workers to 27, 28 SCVs. I mean, it's a decent lead for Showtime. He didn't really lose much raw material, just the early 2 probes. It's not like that bunker's cheap, man. So it does cost something. Oh, Hellion gets 1 probe. Not too bad. A lot of them, 3 of them were 1 shot from death. All on 12 hit points against that 14 damage Hellion. Clem, he's going for a Raven, a tank, 2nd barracks, and the 3rd barracks. Both of those barracks will be swapping onto these tech labs when they're finished. So he's going to first of all take the Starport tech lab, and then he might build a 2nd siege tank before swapping the other barracks, but probably just 1. Clem does like to rush on up. It's got him in trouble sometimes against 4-gate Blink in the past, where that 4-gate Blink can actually kill him because he doesn't have enough defense. And speak of the devil. I didn't even realize I wasn't paying attention to Showtime as well. This is 4-gate Blink. Interestingly, Showtime's going 4 gases, though, which tells us he might be thinking about Colossus or Storm Drop, something like that in the follow-up. Normally, I think, do this off 3 gases into the 3rd base. I'm pretty sure of that. I'd never really have 4-gate blinked myself. Trying to micro that with Australian ping, not really the funnest thing. Oh, the tank is very nicely positioned. That's really hard to get at, because even if you blink on it, you're kind of blocked by all these buildings, and it protects the stim perfectly. So, I mean, it could still go down. He's going to move the Starport, cancels the reactor, goes to build that elsewhere. Stalkers could still be a bit of a nuisance. Clem doesn't really know exactly what he's up against right now. For all he knows, there's a 3rd base up, but he's trying to play very safe. This tank, if he puts it there, maybe is a little safer, but obviously you don't want to lose the tank. The Raven comes forward. Here we go. Blink in the main. He's going to pull everything north. Showtime. He's got 10 Stalkers in there, but the tank gets off a shot, gets off another shot, and Showtime already taking some pretty critical damage. Now, he could have YOLO'd on the stim, but instead he blinks away everything but 4 Stalkers. Notice Clem can't see those 4 Stalkers in there. We can. So he's going to try and run those in and snipe some stuff. The thing is, I think he should have left like 6, because you want to kill the tank, and 4 Stalkers take a long time to kill a siege tank. Showtime's thinking about when should he go in the front. This tank here, okay, he comes in, gets 1 or 2 SCVs. The Stalkers are going to go for it. There we go. Gets an SCV. Gets another SCV. No, only 2. Only 2 SCVs there, I think, because he wasn't able to one-shot them. And I actually think he should have been, like I said, getting 6 Stalkers and diving in for the tank. Because if you get rid of the tank, it means there's this whole open area. And then it's just bio up against Stalkers. The problem for Showtime is, yes, he is going Colossus behind it, but he hasn't really done any damage. And the Stalkers fall off really hard when Stim and Shields and Medivacs get on the field. And guess what? Medevacs are building, Stim and Shields are finishing. He has not found the damage. He can definitely pick off the reactor pretty much for free here. Stalker drop on the back. He's got to be real careful. If the Raven interference matrixed him, he wouldn't be able to pick up and leave. The Stalkers will get that reactor. He could also pick off the refinery pretty easily. He's going to go after SCVs though. Gets one, gets two. But here comes Stim. He loses one Stalker. Two Stalkers go down. It's a total of 3 Stalkers dying. He's done okay damage, and he definitely can delay the command center, but if he loses the prison back here, I mean, there's not a lot of dead space to hide in, then he could be in trouble. The Stalker's doing some good damage. Big push moving out for Clem. Does Clem send a lot of units back? He's trying to just send a handful of bio back. Oh, man, I'd focus that if I was Showtime. I would definitely focus that. He gets it. He gets a kill on the command center. No cancel. But Clem can Clem just kill him now? Oh, Stalker drop comes in just as the tank unsieges. Bad timing for Clem there. The Stalker's picking off another SCV or two. What's he got at home? He's got a Colossus, but there's a Raven. No battery! He doesn't have a battery in the natural. He's thinking about defending the third. Uh-oh. No battery is a huge mistake here for Showtime. His Stalkers aren't here yet. Clem's going to stim in. The second Colossus is not quite here. Where's the force fields? Oh my god, he's got to watch out. That interference matrix. Oh my god, the Colossus. Oh, battery overcharge does go down. The second Colossus pops out to its death. Oh no, that Colossus almost goes down. The battery overcharge barely saving it. The Stalkers do hang on, but losing the other Colossus is huge. If he had another Colossus down here, Showtime would be in a good spot. But right now, charge is not done. He's only got 4 gateways. He can only really reinforce Stalkers and slow Zealots right now. That's a very wounded bio army, but that tank in the back, it means business. An auto turret coming on top. A few Zealots do come in. The Blink does take out one of the medevacs, but that tank is still there. The defensive anchor, such a problem in this scenario. And another wave of bio arrives. 2 more Stalkers go down to that last tank shot. He's got no battery. It's a red hit point Colossus and 2 Stalkers. And Clem, he may have lost his 3rd command center, but he says that doesn't matter because I am going to kill you right here, right now. And Showtime, no battery on the natural, just a little out of position, a little slow to get back and get the defense up. And Clem does manage to finish the series off. Armies get across on Moondance quicker than any other map. It really is one of those things where any other map, Showtime has time to position and get ready for it, and it's just the Moondance effect, is that army leaves Clem's base, and then you blink and it's at your base, and you're not quite ready for it. GG, well played. Clem, though, with a spectacular comeback from being down 2-1.